Hello! Before we get started, we're going to do that thing where we promote ourselves as a wonderful shop window.
I like that.
Sort of my account.
That's how I got these glasses, you know.
What, from a shop window?
No, I went in and I said, I'll have those, please. And they said, sorry, sir, that's the shop window.
Oh, can we get on?
Go on, then.
It's you.
Oh, yes. If you've got something to sell and you're looking for a way to get your message out to a knowledgeable and quite possibly cash-rich audience, then this is the platform for you.
Yeah, so you can become our sponsor. We'll plug your product throughout the show, and all we ask in return is a bit of money, whatever you can afford, really.
Preferably in news notes without continuous serial numbers.
You said that far too well. We also accept cheques, credit cards, gold bullion, and we promise to spend every penny on making this podcast.
Absolutely, 100%. You know where I'm going with this. 100% of our advertising revenue will go to the 80%.
100.
75?
100.
All right, okay. Most of it will go to making this show. Actually, why is it called a podcast, Suzi?
Oh, I know the answer to that one. You see, originally, this type of show was a broadcast, which you download and listen to on your iPod. So,
Yes.
It's a portmanteau of the words iPod and broadcast.
Is that where they filmed The Prisoner?
Podcast.
Oh, that was Port Miriam. Sorry.
That's full of little buildings in Wales, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful there. I like it. Should we roll the titles?
Run VT, Errol. Hello and welcome to the Gadget Show Podcast with me, Jason Bradbury, and my sister from another mother, Suzi Perry.
Oh, that's not right. On this episode, we have two very special guests who back in the day played a massive behind-the-scenes role on the Gadget Show.
Oh, you're not kidding there. They certainly did. And as well as coming along to reminisce about the glory days, they want to tell us all about some of the exciting stuff they're doing right now at the cutting edge of technological innovation.
Mm-hmm,
You're going to love these guys.
Yeah, you are. I love them. Right, let's get going because we've got a lot to pack in.
No, we haven't.
What?
Well, we don't have to pack anything in. It's our podcast. We can just jabber on for as long as we want.
Right, I want to talk about wearable tech.
Yes.
Because it's something that we talked about on the Gadget Show when we were together
Yeah.
all those years ago.
We weren't together, just so that you know.
No, we've never been together.
No, we worked together.
No, because we are probably the only... Well, we just never had that sort of relationship,
No,
have we? It's
probably
like
best as well.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like nitpicky brother and sister relationship.
Yeah,
what
that's
we've
more
got.
like it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Can I carry on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in those days, and I left in 2011, the only wearable tech to measure your, for your sport was the Fitbit. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, was that where the tech was at?
Yeah.
So that was really the OG kind of, what would you call it? The Kickstarter of
it was
that
the pioneer
whole new,
of wearable tech, I suppose, really.
Yeah.
And then that got bought by Google for a few £1 billion because they realised where it was all going to go. And then here we are now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Apple Watch is probably the most famous wearable tech, isn't it?
I think it probably is. And is it the market leader,
It
Susan?
is the market leader.
Watches? Yeah.
I think it's nearly 54% of the market and 53 million sold, something like that. It's incredible. Yeah, because it does so much. And, people like to... You see them running, don't you? You see cyclists.
Idiots.
Look at him with his watch on. But they've come a long way, is the thing, isn't it, really? The Apple, it does so much. You can go diving
incredible.
now. You can go to 40 metres diving with your watch. It's incredible. So rugged, so tough. That's the market leader. Mm-hmm. And as you would expect with Apple, it comes at a cost.
Yes, so I'm wearing the posh one, aren't I?
Yes,
So let me just
the
be clear.
Ultra.
When I said idiots, I was jokingly referring to the fact that I'm actually wearing one, and it is the Ultra 2, which is the top of the tree, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the most advanced heart sensor. It can give you all that kind of ECG magic numbers.
It reads your ECG for you.
It's ridiculous. This particular one that I'm wearing has a digital SIM card in it, so it can connect independently of the iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah, and give you all the data functions that you would normally get from your mobile phone. It's made out of titanium. I'm a big fan of titanium.
I mean,
beautiful.
If you go on the
metal
internet,
tube.
you'll see people, using sledgehammers and chainsaws to try and break this watch, and it's unbreakable.
On the way in, they tried. They're outside.
That was for you, I think, rather than the watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but back in the day, we would have tried to have blown that up because we would have done a test of destruction. We'd have blown it up and we would not have been able to blow it up.
We'd have blown it up.
Just because we could.
Yeah.
So it's rugged. It's fair to say that it's extremely rugged. But I want to talk about the sort of health benefits, really, of wearable tech and how they can actually save your life. Because we've been talking this morning with our crew, and there's two people in our crew, and we're a small crew. Aren't we, like 6 people here?
Yeah.
That have had experiences. One has been life-saving, and one has given our producer Tom the information that
the insight
in
he
later
needed,
life he's going to have to do something about his heart. So, these are lifesavers.
But don't you think this is what's wonderful about technology, is that what it offers us as we slowly progress, and because we're so OG, we've got perspective, haven't we? One of the great things about being OGs is
old.
that we can look back and know that the sort of tech that we had in the 80s gave us one level of kind of resolution on things like health, for example. Now, that analysis goes so much deeper, doesn't it? In real time.
Essentially, you're wearing a virtual doctor
You are.
on your wrist or on your finger. We'll come to that in a moment,
please,
because obviously the wearable tech is developed now from watches to rings. So Jason's got a ring on his finger, not his wedding ring. That's another story.
Right? That's another story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an accident with my wedding ring. I almost degloved myself.
I hate that phrase.
I hate that phrase too. This is the Ultrahuman Ring, and it offers many of the functions that we've just been referring to. So it gives you your pulse, heart rate, enables you to deep dive into your sleep patterns. And so there's a thing. Talking about this idea of looking back as a way of illustrating where we are now. Sleep, really, I mean, I don't ever remember it being considered as part of the health spectrum, but now it's all the rage, isn't it?
And it only, I think, if you had, what's it called where you snore a lot?
Apnea, sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea. I was going to say something else that would have been so wrong then. Sleep apnea, where you'd have to go to a physical clinic and stay overnight and be wired up and everything.
Yeah.
And now you can just wear a ring and it can tell you exactly all your sleep patterns, how much REM you're getting, how much deep sleep, whether you're waking up too much, your temperature, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's so important, isn't it? There's so much verified independent scientific information now around the value of sleep and the fact that we've kind of been ignorant of it, and it's all been made understandable by these devices. Just to describe it, the ring is it's a really elegant matte black, isn't it?
Yep.
Sort of dark grey, and then inside it's set inside the ring itself.
Or it's tech packed inside, isn't it?
You can see the kind of circuitry. And at night time, it glows, which for some people might be frustrating. I don't know, but it's got to sense your heartbeat. But for me, from an industrial design perspective, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it looks just like a normal ring. It's no bigger or thicker than a normal ring, is it?
No, it's not like something you get out of a bubblegum machine from the 70s, is it?
No.
It doesn't look like something.
It's not cheap.
No. So the ring that you're wearing, it's like carbon. I would say it's quite masculine, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd probably go for the gold. They do different colours, so you have got a choice there. And obviously, you tell them the size of your finger, so it fits your finger perfectly.
Yeah, you get little fitters, don't you, that come with the initial purchase, which is, I think it's amazing. I'm interested to know where this sector goes. Because I think it's been so enthusiastically received by consumers.
It's an area that could well explode, because we've already got the
so.
Aura, haven't we, in this market?
Is that like the market leader?
Yeah, that's the market leader. And then Samsung have been saying they're going to bring one out for a long time as well. So you can see that this is going to expand and be something that we talk about.
But you know how they're going to expand it, right?
Go on.
AI. It's going to be AI. There's going to be the application of machine learning to all of this data to enrich the experience, to look for connections, to connect it to this database, that database, so that you get a much richer understanding of the spectrum of your overall health. It's going to be fascinating.
All from a little ring on your finger.
Potentially all from your finger. I mean, obviously, I don't know this. I'm just projecting based on where other sectors are going in the current AI boom.
So how would that look on a daily basis then for me? If I've got a ring, and how does the AI work?
How does AI?
Yeah.
I think AI is like the kind of sauce in the sandwich. It brings everything together. So, companies like Samsung are always trying to present an ecosystem of various products that all conform to one platform, and that platform now is AI driven. So, for example, I mean, I am speculating now.
Put me in a scenario then.
Well, okay, so the Ring monitors your heart. You've been for a walk. Maybe the Ring or some other thing in the Samsung ecosystem, like I know it sounds a bit gross, but like your toilet, for example, is able to analyze other aspects of your biology and knows that you're deficient in magnesium, for example. So it tells the fridge that it needs to order, whatever food.
Bananas or something,
But yeah, there you go. So you're better at it than I am. That's the idea. So you've got an ecosystem of products all held together by a cloud-based. Because obviously, for AI to do what it does with the algorithms and machine learning, all the rest of it requires large compute models. So it requires large cloud-based computing. You can't do it in a Ring. The Ring is merely a sensor, but it's part of this big, massive system that will start to provide us with a much broader and more intelligent way of having insight into our own health.
Well, I think a lot of people will still be stuck on the fact that their toilet's going to know them so well, intimately.
Although, to be fair, I have been saying that for years, and I know of certain innovations in that area, but not quite. We're not there yet. And I know it sounds a bit weird, but when you think about it, it's actually very sensible.
Well, it's analysis, isn't it?
Who was that woman on telly? Was it?
Gillian McKeith that used to look in people's poo.
Well, there you go. You see.
Imagine having that job. Oh.
She was a little over-enthusiastic about that part of the show. I seem to remember.
Yeah, it just.
Wasn't she not a doctor?
No, I think. Oh,
actually, I don't want to libel someone. I don't know that that's the case.
I think it was quite controversial at the time. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But it was all about poo.
And on that note, and on that bombshell,
shall we talk?
And
about
on that bombshell,
things?
and I'm sure they'll be really pleased about this. This is another smart device, far more affordable.
Let's talk about the Amazfit, which is the third device that we've got here, which is a watch. Pretty good looking, really. I think the strap, for me, looks a bit plasticky.
Needs to be upgraded. Yeah, but maybe it can be.
Because this does, pretty much everything that the Apple Watch does health-wise.
Yeah.
But, for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is a third of the price of the one that I'm wearing, the Ultra 2, which is the super-duper one.
Yeah.
Something north of 700 quid, the Apple Ultra 2.
Yes.
This one, you'll get change out of 300 quid for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's 240, 239, something like that.
Okay. It's pretty standard looking, Suze, isn't it?
It doesn't look anywhere near as sexy as the Ultra. But what it does is it performs.
Yeah.
And if you're just using it for fitness and health and tracking and all that sort of stuff, it does the job perfectly well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's aluminium. It feels like aluminium to me. It's quite cold, a sort of gunmetal grey. The screen is really bright. It's got a lovely bright display, an analog. I'm guessing there are lots of different watch faces, but this is an analog setup with a crown.
About 35 grams, so it's not heavy.
It's super lightweight. Look, you've got quite a lot of apps on it, Suze, but I'm guessing that when you drill down, it's relatively functional. The point is, this area of health-related tech is accessible to lots of people with lots of different budgets.
Yeah, and then this is obviously lifestyle-oriented, smartwatch. For your training and health. I mean, that is what it does really, really well because it's specific.
In fact, to a certain extent, it has some functions that the smartwatch, the Apple Watches don't have. The Series 9 or is it SE, the inexpensive one, which I think my son's got, the Apple Watch range. Right. So you get a lot for your money, and this sector is booming. So watch it. So much more to come from these devices.
Oh, and finally, John has done a really great in-depth review of the Amazfit. So if you want to watch that, you're watching on YouTube, you can just click on that. It's on our Gadget Show channel. Or if you're listening, there's a link in the description below so you can get more information.
Marvellous. That was John Bentley.
Yeah, I know, I got it. Right, now it's time for this week's guest. Although it's guests this week, because we've got two, arguably three guests this week.
Okay, that's a little bit cryptic. In front of us, for those listening, two ruggedly handsome chaps in sports attire, looking very geeky, very engineering, very intelligent.
And exactly the same as when I last saw them about 10 years ago, which is weird. They are Grant and James Cooper, two very accomplished... Oh, what was that little noise you were... There we go. That's the one we wanted. Accomplished engineers who work with me, Jase, and that fearless daredevil, Otis Dealey. You might remember him for the best part of a decade, creating some of the finest Gadget Show builds and helping us win more than one of our Guinness World Records.
Yeah, which we used to collect, didn't we, on the Gadget Show? No, seriously, these two guys are the OG master engineers that made all of the crazy builds that we did that defined the show possible.
And can I just say, James and Grant, it's lovely to have you here. So we're having to share a mic like the cats on the internet sharing their food bowls. But also, they used to have to do everything in 5 minutes and for no money, basically, didn't you?
It was a great experience, but it's really nice to be sat here with you guys. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time we sat in the same room.
But the skill set that was required to make some of the memorable inventions, which we'll get to in a minute, that you guys made, was so diverse. I honestly think there was possibly no one else in England that we could have found to do what you guys did.
Nobody else would have done it in the time frame you had, though, would they?
I think it's more, we were just flying from the seat of our pants, weren't we? Where you just say, build us a chainsaw powered something. Can you
that was a dragster, chainsaw powered dragster you built for me, Santa Pod. Yep.
Yeah.
Next.
How on earth do you do that? So then you look on the Google, quick click. Okay, just go and buy some stuff, go and strap it together, and you kind of learn as you create. 'Cause nobody's ever done most of the stuff that we did with you guys.
No.
So it was a real cool journey to learn.
Yes,
and that's the thing, because you guys were kids at the time, weren't you? I mean, you do look exactly the same, bizarrely. I don't know how you do it.
A little grayer.
Well, maybe a little bit of salt and pepper in there. So it started with Satan's Mutt. Here it is. We've got it here.
Oh my God, it's so much heavier than that.
It's titanium, so it's pretty sturdy. And do you want to explain what this
Well,
challenge was? Because you had to build a robot, didn't you?
Yeah, so basically we built a... could you just push the mic over to me there?
Yeah.
They built a robot and they pretended it was me.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah, but for Otis and I, to go up against the best robots from Robot Wars in the UK and stage a competition.
Take him, man! We'd won our first ever fight.
I mean, for these guys, we didn't know it then. This was a relatively rudimentary thing because it's incredibly powerful. Where did the power for its flipper come from?
So that was a pneumatic-powered hydraulic cylinder, almost like open a fire extinguisher into it and launches it high up. But the classic Gadget Show style, we've been hassling you guys for coming up 2 years, I think, to do a Robot Wars type episode.
Yeah.
And eventually we got the call to say it was going ahead, but with a twist. This was, if you remember rightly, this was actually driven with a Nintendo Wii balance board.
That's right. A Nintendo. It was a Nintendo Wiimote and balance board control device.
That's
Am I
it,
right? Yeah, that's right. So we always had a twist on the Gadget Show, didn't we? Some high concept idea. Very beautiful.
I'm modelling it.
Beautifully done.
I'm doing it like, Sale of the Century style.
Yes!
And this week, you could win Satan's Mutt.
But the thing is, we had the best guys in the business because you'd had some success helping out on Robot Wars, entering Robot Wars, all the rest of it. But I know that you went on to win. You had some winning robots.
Yeah, well, we got a really good reputation back when we were in school building fighting robots back when Robot Wars was on. Then we got involved with you guys through Satan's Mutt. And that then led on through to us building larger 100-kilo heavyweight robots. And that came about...
You built the house robots, didn't you, for Robot Wars?
Yes, we did, yeah. So that was a dream job for us. It's like we watched Robot Wars growing up as children in school. That was all done by BBC's special effects in-house. And obviously that's disappeared over the years. And through working with you guys and other TV shows throughout the years, our reputation's built up that we were then headhunted for Robot Wars.
But didn't you buy the arena off the show?
No.
Okay.
So someone did buy that one and it got scrapped. It's a big area of contention in the Robot Wars world. But no, we helped develop the latest version.
I went on Robot Wars, on the Celebrity Robot Wars, about 100 years ago. With Dallas.
Campbell.
Yeah, I got Dallas to come in as my partner in crime. And James and Grant did my robot. But you had about 5 minutes to organise that as well, didn't you, I think?
As always.
I've always been awestruck by everything that you've ever done. And just sitting here listening, I'm just imagining sitting at home listening to this podcast and people will be going, I love those two, they're so incredible. Take us through step by step pretty much what you did for the Gadget Show and what were your kind of favourite works?
I think we could probably go through the injuries list first.
We can all go through those.
Yeah,
So
apply that filter.
First project was Satan's Mutton. You
I
nearly
chopped
chopped
my
your finger off.
That was Jason hammering the flipper down. I've still got the scar.
Yeah, I remember that. That was on me. Fair enough.
We've done so much. I mean, some of my favourite are the world records. We did the electric jet-powered bike.
Oh my God.
That was Otis riding that. That was
Wild.
some scary moments. with
Ducted
the
fan,
GT.
wasn't it?
Yes, that's
Ducted
it.
fan electric.
Can you believe Otis did that? Because he's so scared of
Yes.
things like that.
Wobbling. Oh man, I don't like that at all.
But he didn't have much choice.
No, that's true. He was
fair.
strapped to it. So
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
72 miles per hour! I'm a record breaker, I can't believe it!
Yeah, we did the chainsaw-powered dragster.
That was me, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yourself and John Bentley, we've done two
Yeah,
versions
that
of
was
that.
terrifying because it's just as scary as it sounds. I mean, that was an open engine with what sort of RPM was that? It was insane.
Oh, I can't remember, but we were getting some serious power after we tuned them.
That's certainly top speed, I can't get any quicker.
Yes, a splendid top speed of 72.74 miles an hour. All our hard work really had finally paid off.
But far more dangerous than that one was the jet-powered luge that we did with Joel.
Yeah,
That's-
So for me, if anyone says to me, "What's the best thing you ever did on the Gadget Show?" with that question, it was breaking the world record for jet-powered luge. So effectively a skateboard, but you're on feet first, no brakes, just using my feet as brakes with not one but two jet engines. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah, there's two
And kerosene
versions.
tank for a headrest.
That crash from the last time we tried it really damaged my confidence, Well, this is it. I'm really scared, but there's a lot of people put a huge amount of effort into this and I've got to do it for them. World record, here we go, let's do it. Go!
The speed was like nothing I'd ever experienced before.
I'm survived! I'm not dead!
But to be fair, a lot of the things we've done, there's a big element of danger to them. Like the dragster, there's always an element of danger. But everything we do, we've got to know the risks. We've got to understand what
I know
can
that,
happen.
and we're having fun with the drama of it all.
Well, the
But I
thing
always felt safe. Yeah. I love the adrenaline rush, but I trusted you guys.
As with everything exciting, really, in life, there is always an element of danger, which is why it's exciting.
Progress,
'Cause you don't
baby.
know.
Well, this is why
Yeah.
people don't break those records every day. And I don't think many of them have been broken since.
Have any of them been broken, actually? I'm not sure. I
Only
don't
by
even
us,
know.
and we haven't done it officially.
Okay, well, that's good then.
I did 83 mile an hour on that bike.
Oh, my life.
Oh my God!
Talking of oh my God, one of these moments, this is one of my favourite moments of the Gadget Show, was the show where we had, when I was AI,
Yes.
VR, Suzi,
Yes,
from
that's right.
London, and I was sitting in the sofa and sliding down the sofa, and the technology was a nightmare.
They tried to replace you, didn't they, with an
Yeah.
augmented version, what would you call it, a holographic version of you?
It was hologram Suzi and a robot version of Jase. So who did we go to make Robo Jase? James and Grant, of course. And they've got it with them.
Oh my God!
So we've got it in the studio.
It
Yeah, it's.
him.
Oh, it's taken on a persona.
Suddenly he's all about the pronouns. Listen.
Please reveal Robot Jase.
So just bear in mind, he's been locked in a drawer for probably 10 years
haven't
now.
we
How
all,
I feel
darling?
about
But
that.
he's looking lovely.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
What's happened to him?
It's terrible, isn't it?
So we're looking at Robo Jase, and he looks a little bit like his face has melted somewhat.
Completely.
And it's sort of the mouth is kind of slumped. He's aged, not aged
Not-
well.
not in a good way.
No, he hasn't.
It's melted.
He looks nothing like you anymore.
Oh, thank you. I'm so pleased. I thought you were going to say looks just like you, Jace. That's uncanny how they achieved that.
It looks bad. I mean,
He.
what do you mean?
Please,
he?
he's a he. It's a person.
No, it's
It's
not.
a real person.
It's not.
Look at. Oh, those eyes.
I
Piercing.
I glued that eye in last night.
That'll be why then.
He looks more like a zombie.
Yeah, he does.
If you're listening and not watching, first of all, you have to go to YouTube and watch this.
Oh, my
Second of
God.
all, I cannot unsee that. That is terrifying. Is it just the latex that's sort of slumped?
sort of
and
just
you've
like
aged. It's what's
gradually.
happened.
It's gone all
Even-
sticky.
Even Robo Jase has aged.
I think the horrible thing is he looks better than me.
He doesn't.
Look at him. Oh, my gosh. And, of course, one of my abiding memories of that is taking Robo Jase to the Cannes Film Festival and having him having him on the red carpet. And you know Gillian Anderson, the actress?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean this sincerely. She arrived.
She wears a good shirt.
She
doesn't
wears a good shirt.
Yeah.
She arrived at Cannes expecting to get out of her limo and be received with love. And, of course, the paparazzi, you know, I guess if you're a paparazzi, you've seen one celeb, you've seen them all, but you've not seen a robot. So the robot came out onto the red carpet. They went absolutely crazy. And I was behind the scenes with a headset, and I was doing my kind of best franglais and Robo Jase, and they were loving it. They were taking lots of pictures of him.
And the great thing was, because it was all live, it was all real, as with all the builds that we've done for you. Nothing was faked for TV. Nothing was kind of bodged together for it. It was all actual stuff that you saw on the telly was real technology.
I'm really
working.
pleased you said that, because it's true, and it's a credit to the boys, isn't it, that you made those things work. And I remember often we'd have to stop filming and you'd be adjusting things and quickly programming something, and we'd wait, and it was all about doing it for real, because it was all the builds we did were authentic. And
Yeah,
it was down to you that was the case.
That's a rare thing for a TV show. We're very grateful for that, for being able to do things and learn everything we've learned along the way. But the amount of things we've done since where they're like, well, as long as it looks like it works, that's fine. And it's great to see a show working with you guys that say, like, no, if we're doing it, this has to work. This has to be real.
No, I'm really excited about what you're working on now, because it literally is a planet saver, isn't it?
Absolutely. We've been working with a company called Pulpex since the start of COVID, really, on trying to develop the world's first fully sustainable, recyclable, compostable paper bottle.
So I've got in my hand, Jason and I both got one in our hand. It feels beautiful.
Really
It's a
tactile.
as you've just said, it's a bottle, and it's made out of pulp,
Wood and paper pulp.
right? And what's it coated in then?
So the coatings vary. That will vary depending on the end products and things, but the plan is that all the coatings will be compostable and recyclable. There won't be like some other bottles on the market where they've got like a plastic bag or a sleeve inside. You shouldn't need to separate them.
So the coating's on the inside.
And
On the outside, it's very papery, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And so this will negate the use for single-use plastic.
That's the whole idea, really. It's you see so many TV shows and stories, and most people don't get out, but you just have to go down the beach and see how much. It's not even in physical bottle form; it's in like the microplastics.
So I was there on Sunday doing a beach clean-up at Watergate Bay in Cornwall, and there was about, I don't know, probably about 50 kids or something, and it's astonishing. Almost the size of grains of sand, the particles that we're picking up now. You can almost we had sieves. You sieve the sand, and these bright-coloured plastic, tiny balls and fragments come out. It's extraordinary.
And it's in all the animals and everything. It's horrendous, isn't it? Where we are at the
We
moment.
need to do
But-
something about it.
Well, that's what you're doing, isn't it? I mean, this is what this hopefully will do. And what sort of scale are you hoping for?
So the idea is obviously we're working with the team at Pulpex on this. They've got a huge team of people working on sort of the chemistry for the coatings and making sure that they work. They're two very different things, and proving that the actual concept of a paper bottle works. And we're then working with them to actually make this scalable. So to make it manufacturable, to make it scalable. And the R&D side's all done, and these bottles, as you can see, are coming out really nicely.
So you
And the
made
next-
these?
So these are made on the machines that we've produced. The machines are
And
totally
the plastic top is only a stage one.
Temporary.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So as with everything, there's stages to it, and the first stage is actually getting the bottle, as you can see in your hands, and workable, and paper lids and the threads and things and all that on the bottles. That is all in progress, but these things do take time.
And would you be able to manufacture it as well? Or is that's obviously a completely different part of this industry?
I
But
can't remember the exact figures, but I think Pulpex were talking about creating, say, 75 million bottles a year, and that sounds massive, but that is such a tiny percentage of almost like the daily amount of plastic bottles made every day. It's just scratching the surface, so we could never manufacture enough of these in-house. We're only a small company. we are heavily on the development side of things and helping to manufacture the machines to make these. But actually manufacturing these bottles, we could never do, and no one company could ever do. The problem of plastic is huge.
It's so massive. But as consumers, I think a lot of people, I'm guessing most people listening to this podcast want an alternative. There's a certain element of guilt, isn't there, associated with grabbing something in a plastic bottle, but we just don't have the offerings. We don't have the choice.
Yeah, if you saw this on a shelf in a shop, you would love to pick that up. It's a beauty. It is beautiful, isn't it? What you've created is gorgeous.
It's been exciting because we've worked with Pulpex from the very early stages of figuring out how to kind of mulch the pulp and kind of try and get it to come into a bottle form. So it's been really nice to kind of start in those small scale stages in R&D development to now seeing almost like an automated line where you put pulp in at the beginning and you're starting to see bottles coming out the end, and that's been really exciting process for us.
And it must be exciting for the types of companies that are using plastic bottles and cans and things like, I don't know, just big conglomerates like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever, and alcohol companies. They surely want to get into this, don't they?
Yeah, I can't talk about, obviously, investment side and what people are doing it for. We're not the companies that are buying them. But, we're just on a very small scale, and looking at this sort of thing, you walk around and you see, even if this was 100% recyclable like a lot of bottles are, the recyclability, I personally don't think is a problem. It's, if the whole of the UK recycled everything they did, it would be such a small amount of the problem solved. You go to, you can go to India or America or China or anywhere. There's so many polluting places in the world that you need to not rely on humans. And for me, being able to put it in a compost heap or in the ground is the answer. You can have all the recyclability you want, but having it so that you don't have to rely on humans to fix the world is
the resources.
Is the issue, I think.
The fossil fuels that get consumed when you recycle, it doesn't recycle itself. It takes energy.
The big thing is just making sure that then what you're making it out of is sustainable, that you're not cutting down rainforests, it's all sustainably grown and sourced trees. We've seen the roadmap for what Pulpex are trying to achieve with this, and not just in the manufacture of the bottle, but in the transport and everything. And it's the whole thing builds up a big picture of
the whole ecosystem.
A better world.
Yeah.
It sounds really boring. You talk to people and say, well, you're helping develop paper bottles, but the process and the learning curves and everything that go into this on something that could change the world is really, really nice to be involved with.
James and Grant for president.
I agree. I think it's very, very, very exciting. And you put the product in people's hands, that's when you really get the point. It's a beautiful thing. Well done.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I think it's very similar to...
Premature round of applause.
Sorry.
To the Gadget Show stuff, like Grant was saying, it's paper bottles, but we're excited by it because you see the opportunities, and that was exactly the same as how we felt about working with you guys on the Gadget Show, is that you're tasked with a challenge, and it's just the excitement that gets you through the challenge, and it's always amazing to see what comes out of it and be able to look back on it and with a lot of pride. Then
great, like that, great outcomes like Robo Jase.
You've got probably the most beautiful bottle I've ever seen in my life, and possibly the most ugliest robot I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
all from the same hands.
That makes me feel slightly strange, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. James, Grant, it's been so fantastic having you here, enlightening as well about the future. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts and your memories of the Gadget Show. We've loved it. It's been great.
Well, thanks to Zombie Jase as well.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, Suzi, I've got a glowing glasses case to offer you.
Okay, so Jason's passing me a tan Ray-Ban glasses case, which I'm opening up, and inside is a pair of what look like normal Wayfarers, but with added camera and light.
Yeah, that's right. So they're the classic Wayfarers, which I remember having a pair of those.
Oh, I've still got some.
In the 80s, I know. They're a classic design. Well, they really suit you. Genuinely, they're really, really good. You should consider getting a pair of those.
They do look really cool, and I will say they're packed full of technology, but only 5 grams heavier than the standard pair of Wayfarers. So
very, very comfortable.
Don't notice any difference.
On the front there, on the side near your eyes, there's a camera. It's a 12 megapixel camera capable of stills and video.
Let me take a few pictures as you're talking to me.
And streaming. You can live stream on these, can't you, Suze? There you go. There, it's glowing.
Oh, it makes a little noise, so I can hear that. By the way, the sound on these glasses is tremendous. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to music, it's directed right into your ear. It's fantastic sound. And I mean, I've got, look.
You've got cans over the top. And the bleed, there is bleed. So if I'm listening to I listened to a YouTube video when I was testing these out at home, and my son, well, Res Hex, said that his name's obviously not, his name's Jackson. And he said that, no, I can hear it, Dad. I can hear it. So there is a bit of bleed, but I don't think it would be so bad, say, on a tube train or the bus that anyone would be that bothered. The sound quality is exceptional.
Yeah. I've just taken 3 pictures of you because the problem that I've noticed with this is you can't see what you're taking a picture of. You can't frame it because, unless you've got your app in front of you.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking 3 because I always think you have to turn a little bit to the left to get the framing right, which is a concern.
That is a concern. I'll tell you what else is I found really annoying, right?
Go on.
I've got various meta apps.
Also, I've just noticed if you adjust, it's easy to take a picture of
the floor.
Spam, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. So when you open the app, it then asks you if you'd like to download the images, right? So then you hit a button and then it connects. It says, do you want to connect to the frames? And then you connect to the glasses and then it pulls the image down. It's just convoluted. Whereas what I would expect to happen is that the glasses, via a connection to the phone or via the app, would just automatically, without asking me about get on with it. The one thing that I do like, though, is the streaming functionality.
Oh, yeah, because you can stream for half an hour, can't you?
Yeah, which is great. If you're into content creation and you stream to Instagram or Facebook, fine. If you stream to Twitch, X, YouTube, not fine.
No, you've got this walled garden thing, really, haven't you? You've got to have a Meta account and you can only stream to Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Which, if you're an influencer, which I'm guessing these are aimed at somewhat.
Is limiting.
It's too limiting, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so now I think you're recording video now.
Yep.
I can see that because the light is gently pulsing, which I think is part of their sort of privacy mindset. They need to show the public, don't they, Suze, that they are recording.
Yeah. As you know, I've got a bit of an issue with the whole elephant in the room, privacy, because I don't like to think that somebody could be filming me without me knowing.
Have you seen these cameras?
That's probably...
You know that we're recording you now, right?
Is that...
Did they not tell you? This is a podcast.
Well, I thought no one could see us.
That microphone is on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were just having a cup of coffee. You said come for a coffee in Birmingham.
I know, but I didn't know if he'd come, so I didn't want to tell you.
Oh,
it's
stop
gone
recording.
off now.
Yeah, stop. Just went doo-doo. So it makes a little noise. So stop recording now.
Yeah.
So the privacy thing for me is, whilst there is a light, and they've made that clear, if you're out in sunlight, I do wonder if you're just generally, if someone's doing that, you're still going to get in
most
shot.
people don't know what's going on anyway, do they? And they're in a cafe, and they're not going to notice that.
What if you're in a cafe with somebody you shouldn't be in a cafe with? There's stuff like...
Hang on, tell us more.
No, there's nothing to tell me.
No, come on.
Things.
Better out than in.
No, I spoke to some of my friends about the privacy side of things and these glasses, which they do look really cool, suit you. But everybody said, yeah, but, you don't want people filming you and you're not realising.
Hey, Meta, take a video.
Right, so you've said that. The lights come on and it's glowing, as you said. It's
So now I'm recording
dips.
you. Tell us more about that dark stranger that you met in a cafe.
I haven't met any dark strangers in cafes. I just don't like to be anonymously filmed.
I like the idea of me going around and just asking people intimate questions and recording them.
I think those days of filming are probably gone now.
No, they probably have. No, in all seriousness, I like the voice interactivity. I think it's novel. Hang on 1 second. Hey, Meta, stop recording.
And the light's gone off, and I heard the little blip.
Yeah, so it's quite good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to see if I can play Spotify. There's this thing called Spotify Tap on it, which means that I can tap the side of it. So there's like a touch-sensitive area here.
Yeah. I can hear it clicking. You've disconnected audio.
Oh, see, audio disconnected. Make sure Bluetooth is connected. I mean, to be fair, we did swap them around our heads, so let's just get them set up properly. I just remember last week when I first got these sent to me, and I put them on my face. The first thing I wanted to do was test the AI object detection, where effectively you say, "Hey Meta, what is in front of me?" Won't work. I can't do that. can't do that on your glasses. Okay, and only to realise that function, which had been a big headline when they were released a few months ago, whenever it was, is only available to a small beta test group in the US. So I can't even use the AI functionality that Meta have made such a song and dance about, because it's a small beta group on another continent. And that annoyed me, because I thought that was really exciting.
Well, you've got to think that's going to come, but then why not wait until it's ready and then launch when it's ready?
I know, and I don't know the economics of all this. Maybe they need to sell some units before they can. I don't know, but that to me is really sexy. But even then, though, you know what it does? It takes a photograph of what it is that you're looking at. So let's say I'm looking at you, and there's a microphone and a person, right? It takes a photograph. It then sends that to the cloud, analyzes the photograph, and then comes back. Actually, what you end up with is a whole load of kind of effectively buffering while you wait for it to respond. Whereas with my phone, I could just use numerous apps and do it not instantly, but much more quickly. So again, we're not quite there with it yet, and until we are, I don't know what the argument for these is, above and beyond the very expensive personal computer that I've already got in my back pocket. Well, that's it. Time for this sexy little podcast to slip into its baby doll nightie and head to Bedfordshire. I'll tell you something weird. No, listen.
You've just told me something weird.
I'll tell you something weird. As you know, I was brought up in the Midlands. I was living as a young Jason in Worcestershire, and we moved. And my mum used to say, "Time to go to Bedfordshire."
Yeah.
When I was only little, I was about 4. And then where did we move next? We moved to Bedfordshire. I thought I was going to be asleep permanently.
We hope that you enjoyed listening and enjoyed our ramblings, reminiscing and reviewing. And remember, if you haven't yet subscribed to our Patreon, do it now, and you can do it immediately and listen to our next episode.
You know, it really is good. You get access quickly, a week ahead of everyone else, to our latest podcast editions and loads of cool extras.
And we shall end this episode with a message from one very, very intelligent man who, quite frankly, should be Prime Minister or the King.
Yes, after watching the recent episode we recorded featuring the one and only Mr. John Bentley.
John Bentley! Don't know why I did that.
David Hicks got in touch on Twitter.
And he wrote, definitely all need honours. Dame Suzi Perry, Sir John Bentley and Lord Bradbury of Birmingham.
I think that's fine, although...
You're not really from Birmingham, but...
Not really.
We'll let you into the Black Country.
Thank you so much.
That's
An
okay.
honorary member.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just thank you, David, for that.
Yeah, Sir David.
Oh.
Thank you very much. And in a kind of kingly way, we bid you farewell.
Farewell.
Until next time.
Dear subjects.
And I think the trumpet would be...
Oh, wait, which one's the trumpet? Not that one.
No.
That one?
That's the one.
The Gadget Show podcast with Jason and Suzi was presented by Jason Bradbury and Suzi Perry off the telly. It was produced by Ewan Keel and Tom Clint and is a North One production.